Wow. Yo, what is good? High TF mob. What's good? What's good? What's good? It is your boy Booba back with another video. An amazing trade week, man. I don't know if y'all were following along this week. It's cool if y'all weren't. We're just gonna go hop right into what went down. And again, if you're new to my channel, the way I do things is every Sunday, I do a breakdown of the market. I generally try to post it either Sunday or Monday. It depends on what's going on my Sundays. Like, for example, this week I'll be working a basketball tournament. So I may or may not find time this Sunday, but I'm going to try to squeeze it in to get it in at the end of the day. But Sundays, I post my weekly analysis. Fridays, we come back and look over it. And sometimes I do a midweek analysis for Wednesdays. But the reason why I don't do it every time is because I'm generally trying to stream on my gaming channel, where you guys could find a link for that in the description. But yo, let's start from the top down, and we'll work our way from our usual pairs. So again, I stick to 5 pairs every week. That's the thing. I don't like to spread myself thin when it comes to looking at markets every week, because then you can get confused on one pair and then that throws you off on another, so on and so forth. But this week, AU definitely hit me with the hezzy snatch cross tween lay. I'm talking about was hitting me with the crisscross consolidation. And as you can see, there are times where I seen the buy opportunity, try to get in, it reverse took me out. There are times where after it taking out the previous position, I still look for the buys, because again, we're high TF mob. All we do is wait on these high frames to pop off. So I knew price was either going to do one of two things. Once it was breaking to the downside, was either going to come down and test these pools one more time before leaving, or just maintain its structure, which it did, and then rise up. So I didn't close out any profits on these 2 trades. Those were both losses. This was another loss where I actually thought from this buy candle here, it was going to rise up, but actually ended up coming right back down and then wiping me out. And the funny thing was, when price came down and took out these 2 positions, and I don't think I took every single position. Some of them were just there to be there just for like the outlook, but just I didn't execute on it. But I did execute on this sell down here because I saw price was trying to break its structure from this 4-hour high. So what we had was, again, price was really just consolidating and throwing fakes and messing with people. And if I would have just stuck with the high frame and just waited for that buy, it would have worked itself out. But this is where all this movement was going on. And right here, when the structure broke, I figured, let me sell. Price did go in my favor that night, but then ended up ultimately reversing going into the morning, where it finally bought off. And all you've seen here was just a great bull flag. It may not have been picture perfect, but it was there. And that's honestly why that worked out. And even just looking at the weekly, I knew this was just set up to rise. So that's another big reason why I was expecting to keep looking for those buys. And I'm going to show you GU, because again, GU and AU are kind of like twin pairs. The reason why they're twin pairs is just because of the USD quote pair that's there. But the base pair is being different. And GU, I actually was in this sell, but when it came up and broke its structure here on the 4-hour, I thought this was going to be ready to buy. Sure enough, it faked me out, didn't really come up, and I was actually going to press sell and get in on a reentry on that 1-hour frame, because again, it just the whole setup just looked all too perfect. I was just like, yo, this still looks like a good setup to me, you know? So I was going to press it when it looked like this. I didn't. And sure enough, it just played itself out and completely hit my 3%. So this could have been another trade setup that would have contributed to me passing, but I wasn't too worried. And I also didn't even rush after missing the move, because I was like, okay, cool. If this sell played out, I was like, there's a potential that the AU sell will want to do the same, but the AU sell clearly didn't. And it respected the previous rejection back here, which is where they grabbed the money and then left. So with GU, it was an interesting week. It has yet to really buy up, because this one was kind of still in a zone where, like, again, this looked like a really nice small head and shoulders pattern. So it completed itself and then bounced off the TP1 level, and it's looking to now break back above these highs, and especially our swing high, because we still are within our swing high and swing low range, where it might break back above and continue the trend that was going on the daily. And I felt like a lot of the reason why that sell popped off with this was also just looking at the daily. Price was dying out with the candles, and then people hopped in and wiped out these previous buyers back here. And then if you go on the monthly, that was actually around the time the monthly candle did open. So it looked more, it basically made more sense for that sell to pop off at the open, because there was just so much money left down here that people may have assumed we're going to come down and wipe out these lows. And that's probably why that volatile sell happened. So this next week, we're going to see what the deal is, whether we're going to test to the downside or to the upside at the beginning of the week. And that'll kind of give us the information we need to figure out where we're heading as far as our TP zones on the daily. So again, we put this together like puzzles. As far as people that are new and are just coming in and seeing this, I do in the future want to make a further breakdown analysis for how I go about break down the charts in a very fine, like a very step-by-step way so that people can grasp on easier. But the information I've already given is what I've only been using this entire month. And if you start from the first weekly analysis videos, you'll be able to see what I do to break down the charts and why everything is pretty accurate every week. So UJ, this one I did profit off UJ, but I didn't hold it. This is a prime example of when you see the setup, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Buy it and leave it alone. So I got into this, I missed this buy actually. I got into this buy. I grabbed profits out of there. Then the buys kept going. I pretty sure I got into this buy here and got a piece of the profit. And then this was the buy I ultimately missed because in my mind, I was thinking they're going to start getting ready to pull back after all this buying. But once this low, because I did sell down into this UJ for a small scalp, I didn't secure the full amount. And I was able to, of course, I was with my stops at break even just to be safe. And sure enough, it came back towards break even. I closed out the trade. And when I closed it out, I was looking at it, I'm like, this could actually just keep going up. And I missed it, right? But I wasn't pressed about missing the larger candles. And honestly, from the beginning of the week, this is where we started, guys. We started down here. This is all my markings from the beginning of my analysis this week. So this is how much price movement we had. And as you can see, my theory of aiming for the take profits tends to work when we figure out what direction these high frames want to go. So again, it was just a lot of buying opportunity in UJ. And you can just see you could have scaled in 3-4 times and made 12% if you're real confident in knowing what was going on and just using time. So I was a little bit shaky about my timings in the beginning of the week, which is what ultimately led me to just kind of sitting back and, sitting on my hands to wait for other opportunities. And again, this is why I trade twin pairs, because generally one will pop off and then the next one wants to follow up. So in my head, right, when all this was happening, I was like, okay, I'll wait for AJ and GJ to set up because they have a similar structure, but they just haven't played out yet. So now here we are on AJ, and I got in here last night. Price is up about $375 in my favor on the 25K test that I'm doing. And the return for this setup is supposed to be close to 800, so 797. It's already at break even, so you can see I'm risking $0 on the setup. And then this is another trade, GJ, which is also another runner. So this is one I'm also going to leave alone because, again, I've already got pretty much the outline that, hey, UJ popped off. And honestly, UJ didn't look like this at the beginning of today. UJ was actually near around here. So it just goes to show, like, they'll follow up with one another. The timing will just be very different. So I'm going to expect that this by maybe the end of today or going into next week will be finishing out. But this is definitely one trade I'm going to sit and hold my hands on and just wait to see if it gets to the TP2 level here on the daily frame. And again, we're only using high frames to kind of understand where this is heading. So there's a high possibility that I'll probably close out before the close of the market this week, if at around like noon, because that's when that 4-hour candle will be closing up. And I will assume that it's going to be on the upside by the time it's done. So from like 9 till 12, there should be a lot of buying movement happening. That's granted that there's no news or reversal that just randomly occurs. And same deal with GJ. I'm just going to expect that this is just going to trail up and we're going to see how that plays out. So as far as my test progress goes, again, you guys remember I did pass my test what day was it? Last week on Thursday, Friday. But now I'm actually on the second part, and on the second part, I'm almost done with this as well. So far, I've only secured $431 onto the actual account. And then what's floating profit right now is the extra 900, it looks like, that I'm up in profit on these current positions. Yeah, about 900. So with this should be done either sometime next week, or again, it could be done by for today, depending on how volatile and how freaky these charts want to get, honestly. So right now, again, I'm just kind of outlining things with the high frames. And again, like, man, this was just a great week. This was a really great. I could have honestly passed my test in this week, but this just goes to show how powerful my breakdowns are. It's because I'm breaking down the market to the very finite detail. And in between all the spaces and lines, you always will be able to kind of read the candles. Now, as long as you can read candles and pace yourself with the actual time that dictates our day, you'll be golden with this whole strategy. So again, next week, we'll do some more breakdowns. I wanted to just get this video up. I know I'm not technically done for the week. I like to usually close out all my trades and then come back with the review, but these will be the floating trades that I do have. And here's also a good example of what you could do to trail profits in case anything goes sour or south, right? And I think I've explained this before. If you're going to trail profits, and again, if you're going to trail profits, and this is why it's kind of important if you're a newer trader, is because you want to kind of be getting paid for doing the skill set in the first place. It's just like if you were to go to work, you don't want to go to work and not get paid. So what I generally tend to do is I'll either put my stops at break even and let the runners run, just let the trade go, see how far it gets to the end, and then maybe close it when it gets close to the take profit. Or I let it go all the way to the take profit. If it's looking good the whole way through, like I'm still able to read it as it's following structure, I'll let it go all the way. And if it's not that, then if you're new and you definitely don't like the concept of the money going back against you, I always follow my stop loss on the 15-minute chart. And what I do is whatever price rejected, so let's say price was going against my trend, if price had a rejection, that's where I'll be putting my stop loss, because the chances of it to come back near that rejection are very low. So if I put my stop loss here, and this is where price was trying to come against my trend, or even just this whole move here, right? You can even give it some room to breathe, because you don't want to have your stop loss super close to where it ticks you out. You can have it back here, right? Because this is where the rejection happened when it was counter trend trading. And now that we're back at this high, if this was the cause of this high to break, we know this is a pretty safe level to keep our stop loss. And then we just keep watching for the same thing to happen over and over again. So if you really wanted to get real detailed, again, yeah, you could put your stop loss here, but it's not giving your trader room to breathe when it comes back down. And we all know the trades need room to breathe. So this is why for me, as far as the setup goes, I'm going to be okay with just leaving it at break even for now. And then around 12, that's when I'm going to make the decision on whether I want to close any trades or just keep letting them go, maybe trail my stops, whatever. And you'll notice that with that 15-minute strategy, it'll generally be that at the ends of the 4-hour wicks is where your stop loss is following, because every time that 15 comes down and then rejects, right, there's that retest and that push higher. And right here would be like that wick on the 4-hour, that candle. So it'd be like so. It'd be your 4-hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, those higher frame candles. So this movement would be kind of that wick tail, which is what's going on there. So yeah, that's just like, that's a, hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, yeah, so it's a really solid way to be able to trail and follow everything. And again, I know some people don't like following with stops. So the other option you do have is, if I were to close position, you can partial close and you can take half of the lot size that you put in at this price level. So then it would basically close out $230. It would put it to your balance, and then the other 200 would still be floating. And now you're trading at a new lot size, but your position is still in the same position. So it's all, trading is all how you want. It's all relative to the person. So again, it's what you feel comfortable with, what's going to help you feel safe and secure about about your income. But that's kind of going to wrap it up for the day. We're going to come back this Sunday with another clean chart, and we're going to basically do new breakdowns and follow it up. But this is why I love to just show like what I actually do, because I've done this for years upon years upon years, but it never like dawned upon me to just really record my progress of how I approach the charts and then just share it with people. So I hope this is being helpful for you guys. Again, if you guys want to give me any feedback or details that can help you guys learn more or get more in-depth knowledge about what's going on here, definitely feel free to drop that in the comment section. I'll always try to work with what's going on there. But as far as the support, if you guys can share this, give it to family and friends that may not believe in this, whatever the case, they can literally follow me week to week and they'll learn how this works. Because again, we all in this economy are spreading ourselves so thin, not realizing that there's ways to make money work for us. And again, you people that are saying save your money, put it in the bank. Yeah, that's cool. That's true to some degree. But your bank, when they have your money, it's literally right here. These candles, that's your bread. Like we're moving it around. So if you want to basically have your money work for you, you can. If you don't care enough, then yeah, other people will, and they'll make it work for themselves. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to keep showing you guys how this works. And I hope that over time, people start to kind of utilize this tool, because it's an easy way to, it's very lucrative as long as you understand what's going on. So again, thank you guys for coming through. Hi, TF Mom. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you guys have an amazing week. And I hope you guys will have an amazing weekend. I will be seeing you guys Sunday. Peace out, guys.